If someone you love calls your name from the yard after midnight, keep the curtains closed. Maeve Kavanaugh learned that too late. In the spring of 2024, Maeve and her 19-year-old daughter, Erin, were living alone on a small sheep farm near Glencombe in County Donegal, Ireland. The place had been in the family for years. Wind came off the Atlantic, the road sat far from the house, and behind the kitchen there was an old stone well nobody used anymore. A month earlier, Maeve's husband, Seamus, had died before dawn. He had gone out early to clear brush near the lower field. Maeve found him later in the wet grass with his throat cut beside the billhook he carried for farm work. Police called it an accident. They said he must have slipped in the dark and fallen on the blade. Maeve tried to believe them. She had sheep to feed, fencing to repair, invoices stacked on the table, and a daughter already talking about leaving for Sligo by the end of summer. Grief had no room during the day. The nights were different. It started with a sound from the yard, a chain dragging over stone, then the slow turn of a rusted pulley, then the heavy splash of something dropping into deep water. The sound came from the old well. Maeve heard it first. Erin heard it the next night. They told themselves it was the wind catching loose metal, then some animal pushing through the yard. By the fourth night, neither of them believed that anymore. Erin was the one who saw him first. She had gone into the kitchen for water and glanced through the back window. A man was standing beside the well, tall, motionless, facing the house. By the time Maeve reached the window, the yard was empty. The next morning, Erin found wet footprints in the mud behind the well. One print dragged slightly, as though the left leg never lifted cleanly off the ground. The tracks crossed half the yard and ended in open grass. Maeve drove into town that afternoon and bought a motion camera. She fixed it under the gutter facing the well and told Erin they would settle this before another night passed. At 3:14 a.m., Maeve's phone buzzed. She opened the alert in bed with Erin beside her. The image shook for a second, then steadied. A man stood at the well. His clothes were soaked through. One half of his face looked pale and swollen, as if the flesh had been ruined by cold water. He was staring straight at the house. Erin began to cry. Maeve kept watching for 2 more seconds, then locked the phone.
"Your father is gone,"
she said.
"Whatever that is, it came from somewhere else."
Erin sent the clip to her boyfriend, Cian, who lived on a nearby farm. He arrived before dark with a torch and an old shotgun from his uncle's place. He watched the video twice and decided someone was trying to scare 2 women off valuable land. Maeve told him to leave. Cian refused. He was 22, stubborn, and certain that fear could be solved by walking toward it. He waited outside near the feed shed, while Maeve and Erin sat in the kitchen with every light turned off. At 2 in the morning, a gunshot ripped across the yard. Then came a scream so wild it turned Erin white. Cian hit the back door seconds later. His face had lost all color. His hands shook so badly he could barely slide the bolt into place. Maeve asked where the shotgun was. Cian stared at her, breathing hard.
"It took it,"
he said. He kept looking toward the black window over the sink.
"I thought it was crouched behind the well. Then it stood up. I fired. It kept coming. It grabbed the gun and smashed it against the stones."
He wanted to drive up the road and call the police where the signal was stronger. Maeve told him to wait until daylight. He pushed past her anyway and went out just before dawn. He never reached his jeep. His phone was found the next morning in the mud behind the well. Maeve and Erin packed within minutes. Clothes, cash, papers, car keys. Then the rain came hard off the coast. The lane flooded at the dip near the gate, and the jeep would not start. By the time Maeve accepted they were trapped until morning, darkness had already settled over the fields. They locked every door. A little after midnight, Erin woke to someone whispering outside her bedroom window. It was Cian's voice.
Aaron, open up! Please! Hurry!
She got out of bed and reached the curtain. Maeve, sleeping in a chair by the door, caught her wrist just in time. The motion light above the back step flicked on. The yard filled with white light. Something stood beside the well, tall, gray, soaked black at the sleeves and chest. Its eyes gleamed like wet glass. Water dripped from its hands onto the stones. Its mouth opened. In Kian's exact voice, it said,
Let me in!
Maeve dragged Aaron into the bathroom and locked the door. They stayed there until dawn, listening to slow footsteps circle the house. Police searched the property again that afternoon. Cian's body was found at the bottom of the well, neck broken. Then they recovered the contents of Seamus's damaged phone. There was one unfinished video file recorded the night he died. In it, Seamus walks into the yard with a torch and stops beside the well. He turns, as if someone has spoken behind him. A second figure rises slowly from the darkness near the stones. The clip ends there. That was how Maeve learned the truth. Her husband had never slipped in the field. Something had come up from that well and killed him first. The house was abandoned. The well was filled with concrete and sealed under gravel. People still avoid that road after dark, because sometimes when the wind drops and the fields go quiet, a voice carries from the empty yard, and it always sounds like someone you trust.